If you are unfortunate enough to ever need to ride through the centre of Bradford, or Bradford as the locals call it, make sure you've got something like a dash cam on, because the driving standards in Bradford are absolutely shocking. I think the highway code for Bradford's probably a two-sided pamphlet, and even then the majority of drivers in this city probably don't know what's in that. The only reason that I'm videoing this, in case something happens and I need to record it as evidence, but that generally would be my 2 penn'orth worth of advice for anybody riding through or driving through Bradford. Unfortunately for me, this is the only way for me to get from where I live through to where I need to be, or general direction of, without going to the opposite side of Leeds. I'm going to try and get a few stops in today. How that'll pan out will be anybody's guess. I'll put up on the screen here places that I'm planning to go, so check out my other videos. I will probably try and release them all at the same time, so if you're watching this video, these videos here should be available to view. But what I'm going to do, first stop is going to be the Dalesway Cafe, and interestingly enough, it's still in Bradford. Bradford gets a lot of bad press because of obviously things that have gone on in the past and the clientele that live in the city centre of Bradford, but there are a lot of nice places in Bradford. I would argue that there's probably some nicer places and areas in Bradford than there are in Leeds. So we're having a ride over to the Dalesway Cafe, which is going to be the first of, I think there's about 4 or 5 stops I'm going to try and hit today. Whether I get through them all I don't know, but the first one that we're going to, the Dalesway Cafe, closes at 2:30 and it's currently just after 12 o'clock, so I need to get a bit of a paddle on over there, but it unfortunately means that I have to ride through the centre of Bradford. A couple of speed cameras on this road, so just be careful. Look at these 2 squids. T-shirts, they'll protect you, sir. There's not a lot on the front of each video in terms of my ride routes there and out of each venue, and I did make that quite clear on some of the first Bike and Brew videos that I did, and the reason for that was because depending on which direction you're coming from, you'll probably take a different route to the one I'm taking. All I'm trying to do is get to each venue for this series just to give you an overview of the cafe. The ride routes are irrelevant largely. So we're going to have a ride through Bradford, through Keighley, through Skipton and out into, well, it is actually on the outskirts of Skipton if my memory serves me correctly. So we're just going through Shipley now. Home to the one and only Cobb & Jagger Triumph dealership. If you're ever over this way, call in. It's moved from where it used to be. It's also a Ducati dealer. Might be worth a ride over for anybody who's a Triumph or Ducati owner or thinking of buying one. It's a nice little setup, plenty of car parking space. But this isn't an overview of dealerships, so we will leave that one there. So the Dalesway Cafe is not as posh as some of the cafes in this series. It is, for all intents and purposes, a porter cabin with some lovely ladies who will serve you a pleasant choice of food and beverages, full English, cups of tea, coffee, etc. And they do have porter cabins for toilets, as we'll see when we get there, and it's in a lay-by as well. It's set back off of a main road, but it is one of the A roads. It's quite easy to get in and out of, again, as we'll see when we get up there. I'll do the spiel about this before I get there, because as with my other videos, I don't really want to walk around and talk too much while I'm at each venue, especially if it's busy. I am looking at ways that I can do that better moving forward. Some of the things that I've been looking at have been things like meta glasses, even smaller cameras that I can wear more discreetly, which just reminds me, I've forgotten I was going to bring my chest harness, and then I could have put my DJI Osmo camera that I'm using now on my chest, made it a bit easier to walk around rather than holding it on a selfie stick and looking like a 13-year-old making TikToks. Maybe next time. So this is the point that I was making earlier on, that this is still Bradford, and look at it. We're a few miles out of the city centre and you've got all this, and beyond this, this is your gateway either over into Lancashire, which, all credit where it's due, Lancashire's got some fantastic roads, as does have Yorkshire. I am obviously biased, you know. Leeds side, you've got some great roads up there going out into East Yorkshire. You've got the Yorkshire Moors, but you've got all this. Look, this is your gateway to everywhere that's northwest. Lovely. We're not far from the Dalesway Cafe now. What I'm going to do with this cafe is, and I said I wasn't going to do this in other cafes, purely because it's not really necessary because you've got the postcode. However, I am going to do it with this one. I'm going to put the What 3 Words location up because this is another one of those locations that, because this cafe is in a lay-by, it's quite easy to miss this place. So if you've come from Bradford, it's quite easy to not find it. So if you've come from Bradford, it's quite easy to not find it. So if you're coming from Bradford and you come down the bypasses through Shipley, Keighley and then Bingley, this is the route that you want to take. So you turn off and you head back up towards Harrogate. Now, as I say, I'm going to put the What 3 Words location up for this because the postcode won't direct you to it, and it is quite easy to miss because it is just a little bit further down here in a lay-by that's set back off the road behind some trees. So if you come flying down here, it is quite easy to miss. I think the postcode locates it further down than it actually is, because the way that it's sending you is up here to the left, and that's quite clearly somebody's driveway. So you don't go up there, you carry on past that, you go straight over the roundabout, and it's just up here on the left hand side. There you go, Dalesway Cafe. So I'm going to put the What 3 Words location on this video so that you know exactly where it is. It's actually just mapped out as a parking lay-by. So you do get quite a few trucks that'll pull in here. Some outside seating, which is always nice. It's going to be quite hard for me to do a video here without looking like a knob. What I'm going to do is just leave my helmet camera rolling. Get a cold drink, I think. So I was going to turn my 360 off because we don't need that on. Goodbye. Bike Brew Passport. Plenty of seating inside.
I've no idea.
Hiya.
Is that?
You alright for me to buy that to get a stamp?
Yeah, it's a drink. Specifically, it has to be a brew. It's a bit hot, isn't it? It has to be a...
That's what I'm saying. Normally I would have bought a tea, no problem, but
There you go, darling.
thank you very much.
Not a problem.
How have you found the Bike and Brew?
Yeah, good. It's brought a lot of...
Brought a lot of customers in.
Yeah.
Good.
And a lot of them as well, because like you've got Route 59 down here, which is a biker's cat. A lot of them, a lot of the bikers now, they stop here
Right.
to have something to eat, and then just go down there. Thanks, darling, for a brew and, and to meet up, because this says like, you know, food and the prices and everything about this place is a lot better than it is down there anyway.
It's a nice little stop off, is the Dalesway Cafe, if you're going anywhere. And obviously further down that road you come to the A59 Cafe, or Route 59 Cafe should I say, but we're not in the Bike and Brew Passport. I can't remember if they were approached and didn't want to be in it, or whether they just missed out on the opportunity of joining. But I've just had an interesting conversation with one of the ladies in the Dalesway Cafe that was saying that somebody had been in and asked why Route 59 wasn't open one particular day, and I think such is the nature of these cafes. Do your homework before you set off to them, because they're not all open all of the time. The Dalesway Cafe there that we've just been to, that closes at 2:30 because there's no need for them to be there all day. She was also saying that someone had made a comment, or I think it was the owner of Route 59, questioning why the Dalesway Cafe were in the Bike and Brew Passport, that they weren't a biker cafe. Now I would disagree with that, because I do like the Dalesway, even though it's small and even though it has porta cabin toilets. So if you're somebody that wants to relive their Glastonbury or Leeds Fest days, go to the Dalesway, because it's very reminiscent of that. So that was the Dalesway Cafe in Skipton. Drop a comment underneath if you've been to the Dalesway. What were your opinions of it? Did you enjoy it? Is it somewhere that you'll go back to? Is it somewhere that you've only discovered because of the Bike and Brew Passport event? or is it somewhere like myself that you've been going for a while because you've known about it for a while? Thanks for watching. Feel free to hit that notification bell so that when I put another video out there, you know when it's up. Subscribe to the channel. Every subscriber helps me get a little bit closer to that 1,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. Take care of each other. Ride safe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.